Cabin's almost done. All I need now is a door. That's about it. So, to actually build a cabin, all I used were 2 different saws. A bow saw and a smaller folding saw for mostly cutting the plywood. Then I used a shovel to level the ground and to dig ditches, dig the holes for the poles. Some nails to nail mostly the roof together. Some rope and an axe that I used to notch the logs so that they fit together really nicely. And that's it. So yeah, it's about $1 US worth of disposable stuff, or stuff they actually use on the cabin. It stays with the cabin. The tools you can use for other projects, so you don't really count that. And that's about it. It's just getting dark now. So what I'm going to do now, I need to cut out another big triangle here for this. Probably cut out another triangle here because this one doesn't fit at all. But now that the roof's on, you can see how much light's coming in between here. So with this, I'm going to find some nice sticks that I can jam between it, and then I'm going to cover it in clay. There's a lot of clay around here, so once this is all these gaps are covered up, then it should be pretty warm in here if you make a small fire. And I'm going to cut out a door to put on there, and then it'll be done. Lots of stuff I still want to do, but this is really a lot of fun to build basically a free cabin on land that you don't own, just using government land, because this is just pallets and garbage that I found lying around here anyways. And I'm just moving it around and cutting it into smaller pieces, and these are just trees, dead trees that I notched, so not really doing anything here. So I go into the cabin now. You have to kind of step over here, and then you gotta bend in, go under here, and kind of sneak through, and then you're in. And height wise, I have a tiny bit. That's to the log. So this here is the cabin I'm building. I'm trying to use only free material, so all I did was buy some nails. So I'm probably going to put like $1 US worth of nails in the cabin. Here's some plywood I found just lying in the woods that I'm going to use for the roof. Just about to put the roof on. I got these beams. There's another one on the other side. Just dug them down into this clay. And I only use dead trees, so I'm not cutting down any live trees. And I just cut out the door there. I'm just going to nail some boards there. All the boards are taken from pallets and skids. So yeah, in the end I should be able to stand up inside. I'm going to build a wood burning stove out of clay. There's clay everywhere here. I have a drainage system where the water goes around the cabin because I'm on a pretty big hill. Ridge beam is up, and now I'm going to start mounting these pieces of plywood and nailing them in. And the door frame I had to reinforce, especially on this side with these small pieces where I cut the logs. This was pretty unstable. You can move these logs, so I had to nail this board in. I might actually add more boards, but the other side is pretty stable with these longer logs. I got this really nice pallet, super long, so I'm cutting sections out, adding that to the roof, and that really stabilizes this whole structure. So there's a lot of triangles in the structure then. Just sawing these ends of the logs off so that the boards can fit nicely. This is one that's already finished there. This is just the beam here that's holding up the roof. But I think once I nail it together from the sides into the plywood, pretty much the plywood's holding up the roof then. It's a pretty strong triangle. But I'm just going to fill this back in. So this is probably going to rot because it's going to get pretty wet in there. But this is kind of just a temporary solution. Next year I want to do like a clay tile roof or something that's more natural. So this is about a 10-minute walk from the cabin. I just have this baby stroller here. So I load the wood on here. And this is where I found this garbage plywood. So there's a huge stack of it here. I don't know, there's like 10 sheets or something. So that's the first set that I put on the cabin. So I cut it in half, and those are the 2 panels. Here it's super muddy. So when things are free, they're not always easy. But I'd much rather struggle with these sheets of plywood to build my little cabin than have them just sit there and rot. Because they're already pretty wet. And if they sit in a pile like that for a few months, they'd be useless. So we're reducing garbage and also building a nice little cabin. And if I'm going to make some fires later in the winter, there's tons of pieces that I cut off, all these end pieces from the logs. So these are really nice pieces that I can split and then burn in the little stove that's going to be on the inside. Sun is just about to set. So I started at 8:30 in the morning with sunrise. Looks like I'm going to get the roof done, and then I can move inside with lights on and fill in the cracks and build the stove.